Can y'all hear me? Can you hear me now? I just turned my headphones off. So let's pray in. Just close our eyes for a second. Take a deep breath. And Father God, if I try to exert my will, stand in my way. Stand in my way, don't allow me to exert any of my will. If I try to speak, keep my mouth closed and let me stumble on my words, and you talk. Let us feel your presence. Open our hearts and our minds, and just overflow us with the Spirit so we can flow into others. Amen. So we've been doing some cool stuff, and we've been running with this 4-step inventory, and we've been doing we went through sex and what the sex is about, fears, what the fears are about. I tried to cover like whether you did inventory or not, or this is another time around an inventory. And we're about to move into step 5. So we've written the inventory, and we'll start at the bottom. And I have to say, it's very important to find at this point, right? At the point that we're at, it's very important to find the sponsor that's described, or the man or woman that's described on page 18. And we'll go over it again real fast, because this is what I'm looking for in sponsorship. So on the bottom of page 18, last paragraph, that the man who was making the approaches had the same difficulty, not the same difficulty of like, I've been to jail too, or I outside consequence difficulty. The same difficulty of up here, where like I had the experiences, I had the consequences right in front of my face. This happens to me each and every time that I use in any substance. This is the consequences, and I can have the consequences. Like if you use, this is 100% going to happen. Like you get high, you're on probation. You can't get high. And I would use that as an excuse. So I got the excuses and I got the consequences. I got the experiences that tell me it's impossible to pick just one up. I have an allergy, right? I have an allergy. My man got an allergy to peanuts. Shout out to Andrew. Got an allergy to peanuts, You can't go to the doctor if he eats peanuts. He can't go to the doctor and they give him some stuff for the symptoms, and then they release him. There's no cure for peanuts, So the same difficulty, I got the same experiences, same consequences, and I still convince myself with this trivial, small, idiotic excuse to take the first one. Clean. 100% I'm clean, I'm sober, there's nothing in my system, and I lie to myself and convince myself to take the first one with some stupid excuse. It's a beautiful day, or maybe I'm not, maybe like I got some time. We use all type of excuses, like the time separation, like, well, I got this much time sober, so like I can just drink, or I can just, not thinking it's the substance that, triggers the allergy. So that's the same difficulty up here. That the man who's making the approaches had the same difficulty, that he obviously knows what he is talking about. That his whole deportment shouts at the new prospect that he is a man with a real answer. Who better can help us than us? That people, like, I want to know someone who got through it. Like a doctor that has no experience with this condition, where there is no solution, there's no pill, there's no form of medication that can cure, let's even just say peanuts, just to make it, for giggles, peanuts. There's no pill to cure peanuts, right? So I want to know what the next man did, who has the same allergy, because we common peril, right? We talked about cement, common peril, the common problem. I have the same problem that you got. We both have the same difficulty up here. I'm not like, and the same difficulty of like, okay, I got an allergy for peanuts, and then the lie comes in and says, well, I can like eat peanut butter ice cream, or I can just like drink like us, I can just smoke weed, I can just sell drugs. I tried just everything and just nothing worked. So his whole deportment shouts at the new prospect that he is a man with a real answer, that he has no attitude of holier than thou or I'm better than you. There is no check me out, you're down there. We're talking about people with the same difficulty that actually have recovered. The same dudes that we're talking about in the book, like even the doctor's opinion was talking about and described them in the back of the doctor's opinion, where we had this man who was drinking one or living one might say only to drink. He lost everything worthwhile in life and accepted the plan outlined in this book. And then another guy, who was, and he's seen this, so he's like, whoa, that's why someone without the allergy said, yo, you can rely absolutely on everything they say about their self, because I seen this person who I medically presumed hopeless and doomed has recovered. I've watched it. You can rely on what they're saying. You need to do that. It's what Silkworth has been telling us. Then you got the other guy who was determined to die, hidden in the barn, determined to die, drink himself to death, yet he became sold on the ideas contained in this book. And he's seen him recover as well. So I need to see somebody like that who has recovered, that I know shares the same common problem that I do. And he obviously has a solution, because look at the demonstration of his life. So his whole deportment shouts at the new prospect that he is a man with a real answer. He has no attitude of holier than thou, nothing whatever. He don't want nothing. He's not trying to like hang with you because you cute or none of that stuff. Like, he has nothing but a sincere desire to be helpful. That's who we're looking for. And that becomes prominent when we're doing this. When we get to this fifth step, it becomes prominent, because if you sought out a sponsor who looked cool, right, and maybe he's awake, right, and maybe God presented you with this guy and you don't even know he's awake. You got him because like he had some stuff on the outside, or he had a gold chain on, right, or like his girlfriend was hot, and you kind of like, and you're thinking that it was him, and maybe it happened to be someone who's awake. But this is the person we're looking for. He wants to be awake, because when it comes down to a fifth step, I want somebody to understand what I'm doing, and I don't want no dude that's too cool for me. And we'll explain why as we go into this, into action. Important to have someone who is awake for this step, who's absolutely had the same problem and now has recovered. So, chapter 6, we're on page 72, into action. This is after writing inventory. After I wrote inventory. Having made our personal inventory. And I'll do this too. In the back of 71, last paragraph. In this book, you read again and again that faith did for us what we could not do for ourselves. We hope you are convinced now. Because now at this point, this is why that sponsor becomes important, the guy who's awake, because now I'm convinced that God can remove whatever self-will has blocked me off from him, and I do not want to be blocked off from God. I just did a 4-step. I feel guilty and ashamed of myself. I'm feeling like, oh my gosh, like I can't believe I really did this to these people. However, the gift that I received of like the presence and being awake, spiritually awake today, and seeing the truth, the gift swallows the guilt. The gift swallows the guilt. So, the guilt is swallowed by the gift. Having made our personal inventory, what shall we do about it? I highlight this. We have been trying to get a new attitude, a new relationship, not conception, a new relationship. Now we're on this process and journey of building a relationship. I want a new relationship with our Creator, capital C, our Creator, not bottle of water is more powerful than me because it stays in the, I can't get in here, not that type of nonsense. It says our Creator, the dude who created heavens and earth and me. And to discover the obstacles in our path. Moldy bread, sour milk, rotten fruit. Stealing, me doing this stuff to people and harming them, using, is not good. It's an obstacle in my path. It does not allow me to be in service or communicate with the outside. And I've been so blocked off, not even from just God, but from humanity, that I think that the outside, the hood that I live in, and the hood rats are, cool. We all been these things, and like the junkies and the drug dealers, and that's, I've like conditioned myself to believe like that's real life. Selfishness, self-centeredness, get you, man. Get it by all means. Whoever got it. You get in the way. You know what I mean? You getting stepped on. This silly conception that I have of life. I don't even know what real life is. And that's cool because I'm talking about me. I didn't really know what real life was. Been trying to build a new relationship with our Creator and humanity, and to discover the obstacles in our path. We have admitted certain defects. We have ascertained in a rough way what the trouble is. That's what the whole inventory is about. I've ascertained my defects I've admitted certain defects and have ascertained in a rough way what the trouble is. We have to put our finger on the weak items in our personal inventory and say, me doing this does not work. It's not okay. The people that are awake and lived like me are telling me that's not okay today, so it's not okay. And you'll feel it anyway because we're waking up. Now these are about to be cast out. This requires action on our part, which, when completed, will mean that we have admitted to God, to ourselves, and to another human being the exact nature of our defects. I'm finding forgiveness and understanding. Remember, on the opposite side of every last resentment is forgiveness. So I have ascertained in a rough way what's going on, and you get with your sponsor who's awake, and say it's me, you, and God. We're going to pray in, and we're going to go over your inventory, and if you can't see stuff, I'll help you see it, And a lot of times, and a lot of us that do this work and take people through the work will absolutely say, this is the truth. This is the honest to God truth. If someone's waking up and something's happening to them, and they found like some forgiveness and understanding of what the process is, they get to like the third or fourth resentment, and I did this, and we say, I don't even, and we get to the next name and we're like Johnny, and I'm like, and then we look at our sponsor in the face, and I'm like, I don't even want to say this because like it's silly. I don't even want to talk about this because this is so dumb. Something that you've been holding on to for 20 years becomes silly. Immediately. It's like, I can't believe that I held on to this for 20 years and I was the main dude that created the problem to begin with. And another human being, the exact nature of our defects. This brings us to the fifth step of the recovery program of recovery mentioned in the preceding chapters. This is perhaps difficult, especially discussing our defects with another person. we think we have done well enough in admitting these things to ourselves. There is doubt about that. In actual practice, we usually find a solitary self-appraisal is insufficient. So you doing this on your own is insufficient. Like, I need someone to help me see the truth where I can't see it, and I need to admit it openly to another person, and I need to talk to God, because the next day I can easily just say, oh no, that didn't happen, and you know, all of a sudden I'm holding secrets again. Many of us thought it necessary to go much further. We will be more reconciled to discussing ourselves with another person when we see good reasons why we should do so. The best reason first. So why is it important to talk to another person and do your inventory with someone who's awake? If we skip this vital step, we may not overcome drinking and drugging. If I don't want to do it with a person, I might not overcome drinking and drugging. That is important. Time after time, and this is their experience. This is a book, scientific stuff. They studied this, man. Time after time, newcomers have tried to keep to themselves certain facts about their lives. Trying to avoid this humbling experience, they have turned to easier methods. Oh man. I'll go and like I'll go and pray in my room, or like I just won't say nothing, or like I'll push it out of my head, you know. I'll take some medicine, or either, you know, easier method. Almost invariably means always without exception. We're on the top of page 73 now. Almost always without exception, they got drunk. Having persevered with the rest of the program, they wondered why they fell. And this is for people that, you know, had a couple, you know, they've been through the program, and they'll say, I did the program, you know, and they want helping others and none of that stuff, or they left some stuff out of their inventory. Having persevered with the rest of the program, they wonder why they fell. I kind of skipped out on this, you know, this vital step. You know, and did it like half-assed and moved on with the rest of the program just to say I did the program, or to like get my phase up in my halfway house, or whatever stuff that I've done, we've done. We think the reasons is that they never completed their house cleaning. Like, what do you got to lose, man? What do you got to lose to do this work? Especially like if you're in treatment or something like that. Like, I remember being in treatment, like, what do I got? I ain't doing nothing else, which is the reason I did the work. I was like, I ain't got nothing else going on, at least. And I was completely broken and hopeless in every other thing that I tried, so why not try it? And I tried it. And it worked. They took inventory all right, but hung on to some of the worst items in stock. They only thought they had lost their ego and fear. They only thought they had humbled themselves, but they had not learned enough of humility, fearlessness, and honesty, in a sense we find it necessary, until they told someone else all, you can circle, all their life story. Everything. All of it. More than most people, we alcoholics lead a double life. He is very much the actor. That becomes important next step. To the outer world, he presents his stage character, who I want you to see. This is the one he likes his fellows to see. He wants to enjoy a certain reputation, but knows in his heart he doesn't deserve it. For me, that's like loss of control, you know. Playing basketball, like you know, I've been playing basketball down here, but when we were all available and able to play basketball, back home in Delaware, I'm known for being violent. I'm known for being an angry, violent, loss of control, smash things, violent, alcoholic and drug addict. To my family in prison, out of prison, streets, rehabs. That's just what I'm known for. I get down here, and this is what I found out on my last inventory through doing the work. In the fifth step, I get down here, and I do the work, and I'm walking this spiritual journey, and I become more spiritual. And then I want people to see that. And I don't let nobody know, so I hide the fact. And one of my biggest secrets was that I hid the fact that I still lose control. I still lose control. I played basketball. I actually got into a scuffle with my sponsee on the basketball court. Called him off the court. We're in each other's face. We're wrestling in the mud. He's trying like this crazy leg twist thing. And I'm like trying to choke him. All type of crazy stuff. I'm serious, man. Love you too, Stephen. I'm glad you're here. So I'm getting in all this trouble all the time at work, right? My last job, I worked for a moving company. Like literally lost the control. But I don't want nobody to see that stuff or hide that stuff. I don't want everybody back home knows this about me though. So it's not hidden. Yet I come down here and walk a spiritual journey. And I don't want you to know that like I'm violent as hell. Denise brought some stuff to my attention about she met someone that knows me from prison, and she was like, "It sounds like you downplay a lot of this stuff, Matt, when you're in the group." And that's the truth, and it's not the truth that like it. And I told you, Denise, and I told Denise that it wasn't important. But the fact is, like I downplay because I don't want people to know that part about me. I don't want people to know that. So how I found out was I did inventory. I got through. Right? We're talking about holding stuff back, right? And I'm not telling somebody everything. I'm going and carrying a message and stuff like that. And I'm a powerful person in my home group, and like I'm trying to be like a great home group member and as powerful as I can with the spirit, inviting God in and letting God do the work, and like me not taking no ego and sitting in the back and like, you know, covering my face, because I don't want you to see me. I just want you to see the demonstration through me and what he's done through me. Yeah, I go to work, and I remember two of my sponsees came pick me up. We went to go play handball right down the street here. They picked me up. This is so funny. They picked me up. I get in the car, and I was like, "Yeah, man, just got done doing inventory again, man. It's cool, man. I'll steer you guys through it and all this." And I was like, I found out, like, I hide the fact that, like, I still lose control. And I had gotten into the belief that myself thought that I didn't have that anymore. I even started to think like, oh yeah, man, I'm good today. And I was like, and I'm not, man. I still lose control. Like I have misunderstandings with my vape and smash it into my stove that's fixed, by the way. I had to fix it because I smashed the glass on it because I couldn't get my vape hit and just freaking flipped out. Or that I lose control on the basketball court and want to dump somebody on their neck. You know, or how like I get into somebody gives me the finger and like on the road, and I want to pull over and yank them out of the car, where I start talking crazy to them through the window. I don't want to tell people that that still happens to me. So I get in the car and I tell them that, and they go, "Yeah, man, I can't see that," is what he said. He said, "Yeah, I can't see that, man." And now I find myself justifying. Now ego gets involved, and I go, "Yeah, man, well, It definitely happens, bro. That's definitely me. Like I lose control and I flip out, you know." And he's like, "Yeah, man, I just can't see it." So we play handball and all that stuff, and they take me home. And then the other dude that was with him also said, "Yeah, man, I can't see you like flipping out like that," right? And they stayed quiet and they dropped me off. I get in my house, and then it dawned on me. I sat down and I thought about it, and I was like, "Why would they say that?" And it came to me. They said that because I remember the one guy, I lost control on him while we were working. I flipped out, mushing him in his face, threatening him, telling him to get out the truck, right? The other dude said something about go, you know, F your mother or something, and I flipped on him, was like, bring your outside, you know? And I lost control on both of them. And they weren't saying like, yeah, I can't see it. They were being sarcastic. So the stuff that I hid, they already knew anyway. It's crazy, man. So I present this stage character that I like my fellows to see. He wants to enjoy a certain reputation, but knows in my heart I don't deserve it, man. I am human. Loss of control. The inconsistency is made worse. We're on middle of page 73 if you're just joining in. We're going into a fifth step. The inconsistency is made worse by the things he does on his sprees. Coming to his senses, he is revolted by a certain episode he vaguely remembers. I just explained this in detail for you. These memories are a nightmare. He trembles to think that someone might have observed him. As fast as he can, he pushes those memories far inside himself. He hopes they'll never see the light of day. He is under constant fear and tension, and that makes for more drinking. That makes for more drinking. Trying to hold stuff back in the fifth step. This is important stuff. This is one of the, I can't believe how this thing works, and I know it sounds magical and it sounds like a bunch of hooting and hollering that people are trying to explain to you, but you got to understand we are and were in your condition. Listen, I'm not a salvageable or savable person. Hopeless, variety, drunk, alcoholic, most of my life in prison, crazy, violent. Two options for me, dead or in prison for the rest of my life. Guaranteed, accepted it, and somehow I'm here, and I'm telling you the way that it happened. I'm telling you the way that I connected with that power who is the most beautiful employer I've ever had in my life. Anyway, straight up, man. He is under constant fear and tension, and that makes for more drinking. I underline that. Psychologists are inclined to agree with us. We have spent thousands of dollars for examinations. We know but few instances where we have given these doctors a fair break. We have seldom told them the whole truth, nor have we followed their advice. We wouldn't tell them the whole truth. They would give us some advice like, yeah, maybe you should try this or that. And then we get out of the doctor's freaking office and we don't do nothing that they say. Unwilling to be honest with these sympathetic men who were just trying to help us. I go to the hospital. I go to my mom. My mom has my best interest at heart. She's not going to call the police on me. My mom 100% wants to help me. She got my back through any and everything. Yet I come in the house and my mom, I know I'm in trouble. I know I'm going downhill because I used one. And that one I know is done. I walk in the house and my mom goes, "Are you high? You're high, ain't you?" And I go, "It's my mom who loves me. She ain't kicking me out. There's no consequence going to happen. Nothing. I might get a lecture. She's going to try to get me some help. That's it." And I go, "No, Mom." I do the same thing with the doctors. No, I could be dying. I have been dying on the deathbed, OD'd, and they go, "Did you take anything? What did you take?" And I go, "I didn't take nothing." Like they're there to help me. They need to know what the deal is and what I took so they can help me, and I'll tell them nothing. That's like my man Andrew going for a peanut allergy, and they go, "Do you have an allergy?" And he goes, "No. I don't know what's going on." So then they start to run all these tests and do this crazy stuff trying to help me when all they had to do was give me a Benadryl. Crazy the stuff we do. We lie to everybody. The people that love us and they're trying to help us, they do it to sponsors. We're just trying to help, man. We ain't getting nothing from this but to watch your lights come on and we staying sober and staying connected with God, which is more important than anything you can achieve out here. However, we're just trying to help. Unwilling to be honest with these sympathetic men, we were honest with no one else. Small wonder why in the medical profession have a low opinion of alcoholics and drug addicts and their chance for recovery. 2% is their opinion. 2% of us have a chance. You go to the doctor and they don't have an answer, you know. Of course, they wonder, because we can't even be honest. And remember, we already went with the rigorous honesty, and who we're talking about being honest with ourselves, that I have this. There's no way for me to pick up one and not freaking get the allergy and the phenomenon of craving and go get more until I completely destroy my entire life and destructiveness and everyone else's around me. So that I have to be honest. I got to get honest in this. This is no time to hold back. And if there's stuff that you didn't write in your 4-step and maybe you're catching something from this meeting and the Spirit's talking to you, go back before you do your 5th step and go and write on it, man. Go write this stuff. It's important. I don't know the science to this, but I know it's biblical. And I know it's been working since the beginning of time. 12 steps, 1985. Before that, Oxford group, right? Talking about 20s and 1900s. Washingtonians, 1800s. Same type of process, right? Not similar type of process. Before that, the Bible. You know, all of it's about forgiveness, resentments, letting go, all that stuff, man. That's what it's all about. He called us to help each other. Who else would you want to help you than somebody who knows exactly what you're going through? We must be entirely honest. The bottom of page 73. We must, circle that, right? It's important. Anywhere you see must, circle it, because if you must do something, you got to do it. We must be entirely. Remember, this is kind of like giving us the same thing as we went through in the 2nd and 3rd step. I have to be honest with myself. 1st step, honest with myself about the allergy, man. Honest with myself. Not, babe, your butt looks fat in that jeans type honesty. Honesty with myself. It is impossible for me to pick up. So it's giving us a reminder here. Especially here. This ain't the time to hold back and not be honest here, my man or woman. We must be entirely honest with somebody if we expect to live long. Gosh. Or happily in this world. If I want to live happily or long in this world, I have got to be entirely honest with someone. Someone. Preferably the guy on page 18. Or woman on page 18. Someone that's awake, man. Someone you trust with all your mind, body, and spirit. Rightly, we're on the top of page 74. Rightly and naturally, we think well before we choose the person or persons with whom we take this intimate and confidential. You can put underline confidential, and next to it you can write sacred. Rightly and naturally, we think well before we choose this person or persons with whom we take this intimate and confidential step. Those of you that have been part of my the unfortunate group that I'm a member of here in West Palm Beach know, like, person or persons, like I'll get brutally real with the whole group, and that's important because I don't want just one person to know me on that level. Like, I want you to know that I got it too. Still today, you know, still have difficulties that just get better, and my conduct doesn't continue to harm others, and I am sorry for when things happen. So listen, the reason why it becomes so important that you get the dude on page 18 is because this thing is sacred. This is a sacred thing. This is a thing that's been going on since the beginning of time with priests, and we're talking about biblical days. We're talking about AD and BC. They've been doing this. They've been doing stuff like this. We're getting real and admitting my faults and confession, right? And I want it to be with someone who's awake, that's non-judgmental, a dude that is obviously knows what he's talking about. His whole deportment shouts at me, right? And he has no attitude of holier than thou. He has nothing but a sincere, I have to believe that he just has a sincere desire to be helpful. I don't want the dude that got the newest Mercedes Benz. That's not who I want going into this. I don't want the dude that got 33 years sober that's still an asshole. That might even, I'm just not, time isn't equivalent to recovery. The dude who got 33 years sober, who got sent here by a judge in '89 and went to one meeting because he got a DUI once and went on a weekend binge once and freaking went to detox once, right? Never had like all the same issues. Might be like a moderate or a heavy type of drinker dude. Never did the work, and then I don't want to do this with him neither. I want to do this with someone who knows what this is about, who knows that this thing is sacred. This is the most important work ever. This isn't about, okay, me and you get into an argument and I go tell people your fifth step stuff. This is way beyond you messed with my girlfriend down the line even though I was your sponsor, so I go and put some information out on the street. This is way beyond any of that. This is God's work. This is sacred work. This isn't something that you go and take to other places or get angry. And I know we're human, but you just don't do that. Not here. Not here in this step. It stays with the individual. It remains here. If that person decides to take it out like I do, cool. There's nothing you can find out about me that I won't tell you myself. What a freedom to have. Some people are cool with certain people knowing their stuff, and there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not like bragging or boasting. I'm just saying, like, I need everyone to know. I feel like I'm sick, super sick, so I need people to check me. Like, oh, Matt, you're doing it again. A stranger, yo, I heard you talking to me, and ain't you doing? And I'm like, yeah, man. I need you to know. I need you to help me. So this thing is unbelievably sacred. When you're picking someone to do your fifth step, or hopefully you already picked the right sponsor, because God does a lot of stuff, man. Like Job, man. My man Job, man. My man Job is, what else, God? Like, what else what do you want, I'm going to go this way, and I get stuck in my will, and then all of a sudden God's like, no. And then I pray, I'm in the belly of the beast, and I pray, and he freaking lets me out, man. And that's what God does for me every time, and then I end up doing his work anyway. So, sacred step, man. This doesn't go anywhere. This thing is powerful. You don't go and talk to people about somebody else's fifth step. Ever. Those of us belonging to, unless they gave you permission to say, yeah, man, you can use me as an example. You don't ever, in my personal opinion, you don't ever, no matter what, you let them do it. You never let that go. It stays right here. Those of us belonging to religious denominations, now remember, we're talking about a lot of this stuff is a little outdated, only because the fellowship has made such profound, it has treaded so much ground and grew so much that it's cut a lot of avenues here, and with working with others, it's cut a lot of avenues and given us a lot of good shortcuts to cut through the mess. Like today, we don't got to run around and looking at hospitals for people. They come right to the group, So it's important, man, that they didn't, for you to know that they didn't have the word sponsor back then, and they did it however they could. And it doesn't mean that it's outdated. Does not mean insignificant. Let me patch that up and let you know the truth. Just because it seems a little outdated and they're talking like in a little bit of an older language of how they had to present it back then, does not mean it's insignificant. Still, those of us belonging to a religious denomination which requires confession must, and of course will want to go to the properly appointed authority whose duty is to receive it. Confession. Got it in almost every religion. Though we have no religious connection, we may still do well to talk with someone ordained by an established religion. You ain't even got to have a religious connection. If you want to go this route, go it, you know. I heard about people, you know, talking about their four-step to a dude on a park bench, you know. Who knows? I don't know. For me, I want it to be my sponsor, and I want someone to know me on that intimate level. I want them. And believe me, we all have done this. Everyone that's awake has been on this intimate level, and the stuff that you think that you can't tell nobody, we've told them, you know. Though we have no religious connection, we may still do well to talk with someone ordained by an established religion. We often find such a person quick to see and understand our problem. Of course, we sometimes encounter people who do not understand alcoholics. That's old too. It's a lot of people that now understand the alcoholic. I need to let it all out. Sex inventory. I need to talk about sex inventory. I need to get everything out. Everything I did, how I left the people that OD'd in Philly and Camden, and I left them there. I ain't just leave them there, but I took their sneakers off of them. And I left him dead. And he died. And what I do, I went in his pockets and took his sneakers and sold them on the block. And I knew he OD'd, but I ain't called him for help. I need to talk to people about that. It's been affecting me. I need to talk to people about the sexual stuff that happened to me when I was a kid, rather it be molestation or the friends of people swinging their things in my face and stuff like that. I need to talk about that type of stuff. I need to get real with that stuff. I need to let people know even the grimy stuff that I did to people. I need to tell them. I want to get it all out there. I just want to let go of it. I don't want to hold on to this no more. And at this point, if you work the thorough program by this point, man, like you just want to connect. There's nothing more important than to connect. Like I want to know God. I don't care what a human thinks about me anymore. You know? Like my relationship is with Him. I'll do whatever He wants me to do. I'll go wherever He wants me to go. And then we find out later on that it uniquely qualified me to help somebody who's been through the exact same thing, if not worse. If we cannot or would rather not do this, we search our acquaintances for a closed-mouth, understanding friend. Good luck today. Perhaps our doctor or psychologist, and this is cool too. There might be some stuff that you got to take to a lawyer or pay a doctor who's like patient confidentiality or stuff like that you just don't feel comfortable with, but you got to let somebody know. And usually, like, you get a dude like me who's spiritually awakened and been through all the mess anyway, there's really nothing you can tell me that is going to blow my mind. Perhaps our doctor or psychologist will be the person. It may be one of our own family. But if it's your family, we cannot disclose anything to our wives or our parents or our siblings or whoever which will hurt them, and I'll underline and highlight this, which will hurt them and make them unhappy. We have no right to save our own skin at another person's expense. I ain't got no right to tell you that I made him. I can't do it on this format, man. I'm sorry. There's some stuff that I would love to present to you, but I just can't do it on this format, where anybody can come back and see it. And not that I'm ashamed to let any of you know. I'll let anybody know, but because in Delaware, you might be able to understand certain situations and it could get back to them and then cause the harm, which the book is telling me not to cause. You know, just by saying certain stuff, you could put stuff together. Anyway, that's not even important. We have no right to save our own skin at another person's expense. Such parts of our story we tell to someone who will understand, yet be unaffected. The rule is, and I underline and highlight this, the rule is we must, there's that word again, be hard on ourselves but always considerate of others. Notwithstanding the great necessity for discussing ourselves with someone, it may be that one is so situated there is no suitable person available. Look, this is what I mean by outdated. Right? You can find somebody, and it's going to watch it. If that is so, this step may be postponed. Only, however, if we hold ourselves in complete readiness to go through with it at the first opportunity. We're talking about you've been in the mountains, or your sponsor doesn't want to meet with you because of coronavirus. You haven't been around people. There's nobody to do it with. We have so much technology and stuff in play today that this is outdated yet not insignificant, because I'm sure there are positions like that and people are in a situation like that at somewhere around the world where they can't go through it, don't have technology and all that stuff. So it's not insignificant but outdated. Through it, the first opportunity. We say this because we are very anxious that we talk to the right person. Sacred. Right person, page 18, bottom paragraph, right? The right person, someone who you know is on that journey. It is important. It is important. Bottom of page 74, I highlight this. It is important that we be able to keep a confidence that he fully understand and approve what we are driving at, that he will not try to change our plan, but we must, there's that word again, not use this as a mere excuse to postpone. Yeah, I'm not going to do my fist step right now. It's like I ain't found the guy or nothing like that. Like you're not trying to postpone this, man. There's people that you can do this work with. I don't want to waste time on this, because you understand what I'm saying, and it is outdated but not insignificant. And I mean, there's so much stuff at present that we have that this is just ridiculous. Not that this is ridiculous, that the technology that we have is ridiculous. When we decide who is to hear our story, top of page 75, Nick. When we decide who is to hear our story, we waste no time. We have a written inventory, and we are prepared for a long talk. I've had some that took 12 hours, man. I've had some that take 8 hours. I had some that took 3. It depends on what or do we got pulled teeth or not, or can someone see it? And I love the fact when we get to those guys or women that you get to like resentment number 8 or 9. I love these people when you get to 8 or 9 and they go, Johnny, I don't even want to tell you, bro, because this is ridiculous. I love that. This is just a ridiculous. But when you was writing, it was like, mother, Johnny punched me and I stole my stuff. And then when you get to 4, right, and God's like running in the building, you're asking God to intervene, and like you're having this experience with doing the work, you start to go, John, I ain't even mad at Johnny, man. Like I did all the same stuff to him. That's cool stuff, man. It means I'm waking up. So we explain inventory, prepared for a long talk. We explain to our partner, not like, babe, I'm going to do a 5th step. The partner, the person you're doing it with, the person you're sharing it with. We explain to our partner, which would be your sponsor, we already know the journey you're taking. This is before we're like, this thing was just coming together. We're talking about like, we are about to, we tell them what we're about to do and why we have to do it. We already know. You understand what I'm saying about how the fellowship and the program has grown so much and different avenues that's given us shortcuts to a lot of this stuff. This is a time, and they never changed the work, which is cool. This is a time when like there wasn't that many of us. We were just doing the work. And trust me, if it didn't work, that this thing would have fell off the scene years ago, and meetings would have fell off the scene. We ain't talking about like no freaking Malibu passageways type of stuff. We ain't talking about that. I'm an addict for 10 years and now I'm not. And he OD'd or whatever happened to that dude, and you see him fell off the planet. You don't even see that commercial no more. Ain't nobody going to Malibu passageways. This thing works. This thing is for real. The evidence is around you in the demonstration that it's still here. That's what that gives you. If nothing else gives you evidence, that should show you that you go to a meeting, you see people awake. That's enough evidence. You see demonstrations of people that you know, which were completely broken. Here's one right here for those of you that know me. And then all of a sudden something happened to them and they're spiritual and they're trying to live this journey and carry God's message into their communities and into people's lives and trying to practice these things and tried to practice these things in all of their affairs, at work, in the car, at the grocery store, in meetings, outside of meetings. He should realize that we are engaged upon a life and death errand. You understand? This is life and death stuff. Selfishness and self-centeredness is not the way to go. Life and death errand. Most people approached in this way will be glad to help. Sponsors going to love it. Man, I've been waiting for you to get done this work. They will be honored by your confidence. Man, it is an honor. It's an honor for someone to man, it's beautiful to have someone do a fifth step with you, to trust you enough and have enough confidence in their self and in you to share the most sacred and slimy stuff that they did in their life, and they trust you. It is an honor. It's a sacred honor for someone to share a fifth step, man, with you. And what an honor to watch the lights come on while they're doing it and just yeah, man. And just to see it, it's unbelievable. Most people be honored by your confidence. We pocket our pride and go to it, illuminating every twist of character, all of them. Every dark cranny of the past, we're illuminating all of it, bringing it all to the light. Let it go. Once we have taken this step, withholding nothing. Let's go to the fifth step promises. All this paragraph, this whole paragraph, fifth step promises. Once I go on with it, I'm illuminating every dark. I'm not leaving nothing out. I illuminate it right, and I've taken this spiritual step, withholding nothing. I'm delighted, number one. We can look the world in the eye. We can be alone at perfect peace and ease, girlfriend or not. Oh man, Logan. Doesn't matter. I'm at perfect peace and ease. Our fears fall from us. I'm not even afraid anymore. We begin, Crystal, my fearless, Crystal, number one. Losing Crystal, she passed away. I'm okay. I matched calamity with serenity. Going to jail, number two. I've been to jail sober. I matched it with the calamity with serenity. I took people through the work until I made bail, and now I'm still on probation for it. Wow. Fear fall from us, man. We can be alone with perfect peace and ease. Our fears fall from us. We begin to feel the nearness of our Creator. I'm starting to establish a relationship with somebody who ain't never going to leave. We may have had certain spiritual beliefs, but now, man, we ain't talking about conceptions and beliefs no more. We talking about now I'm going to have an experience. I'm having an experience with God in that power. Man, that's what I'm looking for. I've been looking for that my whole life, man. To have an experience with you. You know? Man, I get to live, man. Yo, I'm honored. Thank you for choosing me. He picked sinners to help sinners, man. And I'm not trying to get religious, but if rather you believe this religion or not, the story is that Jesus was at the table eating with the tax collectors and the sinners and the killers, and it was like, yo, why are you eating with them? And he said, people that ain't sick don't need a physician. I came for the sinners. I was like, my baby's a G. Oh, man. So we have made a certain, man, I'm starting to grow, man. The feeling of, oh man, check this out. Now I'm having a spiritual experience. The feeling that the drink problem has disappeared will often come. Like it'll often come strongly. I don't even think about it no more. We're talking about after a fifth step. Like something happened to me. Like I feel so amazing after my fifth step. I'm ready to go. Oh man. We feel we're on the broad highway walking hand in hand with the spirit of the universe. What? Oh my gosh, I can't. Oh my gosh, man. I'm walking hand in hand with the spirit of the universe. You tell me who else is better than that to walk with. You tell me a gang or her or them or a facility or anything is better to walk with than hand in hand with the spirit of the universe, the creator of all things. And I'm awake. Oh my gosh. Thank you for picking me. Thank you for choosing me. Bottom of page 75, man. This thing is real. I'm telling you, this thing is real. If you don't believe this, man, I swear to you, like, this is real. This stuff is real. It happened to me. I ain't think something like this was available to me. I didn't think I could be a savable person. I didn't think I could be useful to anyone. This thing is real. I still can't believe it's real. But I'm telling you it is. I almost want to stop. I can't. Returning home, we find a place. This is after my fifth step, and boom, I leave my sponsor. I return home where I find a place where we can be quiet for an hour. I'm not putting on meditation music or none of that. I can be quiet for an hour. And for the first time, I realized that I can actually be comfortable in my own skin by myself. Carefully, this is what we're doing in that hour. Being quiet and carefully reviewing what we have done. I'm thinking about the sex inventory and the stuff that I did to people. We thank God from the bottom of our heart, and hopefully this happened. This is the truth, man. If you found truth, you found God, man. Straight up. We thank God from the bottom of our heart that we know Him better. We're almost done. I know we're going to run a couple minutes over. Taking this book down from our shelf, we turned to the page 59, which when we went through it, I told you to highlight 1 through 5. We reviewed the first 5 proposals of the steps. On page 59 is where the steps, so it says we turn to the page, that's page 59. You can actually write 59 on there, which contains the 12 steps. Carefully reading the first 5 proposals, we ask ourselves if we omitted anything. Did we leave anything out or not tell somebody something thinking it's not important, right? For we are building an arch through which we shall walk a free man at last. Oh my gosh. If you think this is bull jive, I swear to you it's not. All this is true in my life. Walk a free man at last. Is our work, after I review the first 5 proposals, is my work solid so far? Are the stones properly in place? Question mark. What stones? The cornerstone, cement, right? The cornerstone and the heads, the keystone, right? So I can walk through the arch, the cornerstone, my belief in God, right? Are the stones proper? Is cement proper? Can I identify both? Can I identify the common problem and the common solution? And both are necessary. Do I understand that it's about the allergy, not the behavior that makes me an alcoholic? Doesn't matter what my consequences have been. It's up here. Is my work solid so far? Are the stones properly in place? Have we skimped out on the cement put into the foundation? Have we tried to make mortar without sand? And after that, and you go down and you do your power hour and you review the first 5 proposals, give me a call. If we can answer to our satisfaction, we then look at step 6. We're going to stop there on page 76. We'll review 6. Oh man, we'll review probably 6, 7, and 8. I don't know. We'll see how far we get. 6, 7, and 8. It is. What's today? Yeah, Tuesday, Saturday. So I'll see you guys Saturday, man. God bless you, man. Thank you for joining, man. Man, unbelievable journey, man. And I'm honored, man. I'm honored that he chose me to be on this journey too. And hopefully, the people that haven't been through the work, or even if you have, can wake up to a new experience, man, and see this thing is real and unbelievable, and it can happen for you too. That's all I got, man. God bless y'all. Good night.